Okay, I get a lot of calls about monovalves, so here we go. Here's a monovalve assembly. We can see 4 screws on the top. See where the plug is oriented? So this is the front of the car where I'm standing. And we'll take these screws out. You can see I've already got them started here. You'll probably need a bigger screwdriver to break them loose than what I'm using. And you want to be real careful when you get these screws out. You don't want to drop them down in the firewall. And if you do, you can just get a replacement screw. Okay. So once that's out, you can grab, we're going to grab it by the top of the little valve here. And we can pull it straight out, right? So when we lay this down on a bench, so see I have the plug there, and we pull this valve out. So this is like a magnetic solenoid right here. So this one, see how that comes off? You have your coils there. See the little notch? The little notch right there is to go around the little wire terminal there. See that little notch? How it fits right around there? So we'll just pay attention to that. Right there. Set that down. But here's the monovalve. Now this one is an old and crusty one. But you can see the orientation of the washers. You have your big washer, right? Let's remember how it went in there. So it slides up into there like that. You have your big washer right here. Then you have this wavy washer. It's actually wavy. And then you have the small washer. And now you're left with the monovalve, this little assembly here. But the washers go in that order. Now, this valve, when that solenoid, 12 volt, is applied to that, it causes the valve to kick out. See, it kicks out like that? See? Now when it kicks out like that, you can imagine it's sitting in there, and when it kicks out and plugs a hole right there, so coolant cannot go through that hole, and it blocks the heater, right? When 12 volt is removed, it pulls back and opens up the hole so coolant can go through. Now, what can happen, various things can happen to make this not work. Like on this one, there we go. See the tear? See the boot is torn right there? So that'll let coolant go through and it'll screw up the operation. But what also, so if that boot is torn, it'll do that. What also can happen is right here on the end, that is a little E-clip. So if that E-clip is not on there, I'll show you what happens. There we go. It's coming off. There we go. A little bit more. Okay. See how I got that little E-clip off? All right. Put our E-clip right there. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, see I just set the little E-clip down there. And then there's a little, this one had a little washer on it. Sometimes you're not going to see a washer. That one actually had 2 washers. Those act as like spacers. But when those are removed, oh, and sometimes instead of those washers, you're actually going to have, okay, this one came in the replacement kit. So sometimes underneath that E-clip, you'll have a little like nylon bushing or spacer. So it's going to be a couple of washers or a nylon spacer. In this case, it was washers. But once you have the E-clip off, you can then take off the monovalve boot. There you go. Now in the kit that you order, Euro sells a kit, and in the kit they come with another boot and another wavy washer. That's to replace the wavy washer that came out of the car. See, these are all crusty here. So what we want to do, we're going to replace the boot on this one. We'll just go ahead and rebuild this one. And here's our boot. We're just going to slide it on there, then tuck the sides around like that. There we go. Now I've retracted. See, I stuck a little screwdriver, and there's a notch. There's a notch right. There's a notch right there. So I stuck a screwdriver in that. That's where the E-clip was, and that little notch right there. I pried it up. Now I'm pressing sideways against it to hold it in position, right? So we can then put our E-clip back on there. And on this one, I'm just going to put our 2 washers back on there because that's how this one was. And then I need to snap our little E-clip back on that groove. See if I can get this one on there. Actually, I'm going to use a replacement out of the kit because the kit sends a replacement E-clip. There we go. There's a replacement E-clip right there. Alright, so again, I'm going to push the Monovalve down, grab the little notch, pull it out, then press sideways. Again, yours might have a bushing instead of washers. Back on the end there. This is tricky. I'm going to get some pliers and try to squeeze that on there. Okay. I'm just going to grab those pliers. There we go. And I push the E-clip back on there. So now we have the boot back on there. And see, it's no longer ripped. All right, now I'm going to put this back in the solenoid and show you how this actuates. Okay, you're also going to notice there's some more parts in the kit than just what I used. You kind of just need to pick and choose what you see. There's like a little funny looking boot here, the little washer there. Sometimes you can sand these down if you want to use this and it's too thick. Here you have some of the that's a nylon washer. There's washers. Remember, I used 2 washers on the tip of this one. So you just kind of pick and choose what you need. And what we're going to do now is we're going to reassemble. And keep in mind, guys, this is a crusty kit here, but I'm going to put that on. Then I'm going to put the new wavy washer. And then I'm going to put the big washer, right? And then we're going to just slide this back in here. And I'm going to show you how this actuates when you apply 12 volt power to the little connectors there. Okay, I've just got a little Noco Boost Plus, just a little jump box, and it applies 12 volt. And I just got some alligator clips here. Now watch the Monovalve when I apply power. See that? Let me see if I can hold it still here with this hand. Let's clip that one on there. There we go. See that? See, I apply power and it sticks out. I remove power, it comes back in, out, in. That little wavy washer, that applies pressure, the right amount of pressure when you tighten everything back down. Now this Monovalve is not moving. I want them to actuate a little farther than that. Let's check this one out. I've got another one back here. Let's see what this one does. But that's what this device does. Here, we'll see if this one moves better than that one. There you go. See that? So when you have 12 volt power applied, that plunger goes down This one's dirty and crusty, guys, but that plunger goes down in there and seals off that hole, and coolant can't flow through there into your heater core. So that's the boot that we just replaced, and that's what needs to be done on your monovalve to make it work again.